So now we come to the green theory. So a new welfare settlement is required. A new type of social welfare policy is required, away from productivity and consumption-oriented models. Growth may be a little slower, but it will be sustainable. And we may start with the Western world because they have more opportunities and they have the wealth to accept it, and even the acceptance of the idea of climate change. This welfare change in welfare policy is something controversial because people don't want less or slower economic growth. But this new welfare policy eventually will increase emotional and social development, which is fairly damaged because of the type of economic growth we are going through. So there is a new theory, a green social theory. So the idea is that environmental disasters will affect us all. Depletion of resources we can't think that if the depletion of resources is in one country, it will not affect us. It will affect us all. And the future generations will suffer if we do not change. There is more acceptability of this theory, more acceptability of environmentalists or greens, as we say it. But the greens are also not united. So what is the solution? How fast we go or move toward the changing of this model? So there are two types of environmentalists: the light greens, who think that growth and green can go together. And of course, growth has a priority. They don't want any radical solutions. And they think that consumption cannot be decreased because it's not a Western luxury. In the West, it may be a luxury, but in the East or in the South, it's not. So people are not going to reduce. People are so poor now and they live at the minimal consumption. So they will, of course, increase consumption, whether we like it or not. Light greens are also pro-business. So they think that business has to be encouraged to move toward green entrepreneurs, and eventually business will help avert the environmental disaster. The dark greens are more strongly, oriented toward environment. So they think that the solution of light green will only delay. They will not avert the disaster. They think that we have to prioritize nature over mankind rather than mankind or nature. So we have to think about animals, we have to think about climate, we have to think about other things, and after that we have to think about humans. So they think that we have to do something about population growth. We have to change the culture, move toward minimalism. Minimalism is a concept where people live on minimum things. So rather than getting more and more, they live on less and less. And go local, meaning thereby that people should spend money locally and eat locally and buy locally, so that all this transport things going from here to there, thousands of miles, should be stopped. Another way to divide the greens or environmentalists is free market environmentalists, those who think that markets will solve the environmental crisis, and they think there should be taxes and there should be on fossil fuels and subsidies to the green technologies, and eventually this will help. And then there are environmental pragmatists who think that government should work but apply only minimal force. And then there are, of course, radicals, environmental radicals, who think that we have to do whatever is necessary, but this because there is no time to convince more and more people. It's time to do things, act. Thank you.